back with a Q&A. Let's do this. Hey guys, Clumsy here and welcome back to ETS2. We did the Q&A episode maybe 1 or 2 days back, and here we are again continuing where we left off. Hope you enjoy these kinds of videos. In any case, let me know in the comments what you think. I will not be focusing on mods or truck updates or game updates in these kinds of videos. Maybe we can mix and match them at some point, but for now, recording this right after the previous one so we can focus on the questions themselves. Now, if you have a question of your own, want to ask, no worries. If it got asked before, you can ask them and I will take care of answering them if I can, as much as I can. Go and check out the link in the video description. The Google Forms link should be there where you can post your question, and then you can decide if you want to remain anonymous or if you want to use your name so I can credit you properly. That option is available for you. So looking forward to what questions you have. Right? Anyway, we are continuing this trip from Norway to Finland. We crossed over to Sweden in the previous episode. We're still in the Iveco Hi Way and all the other mods. I will give a description. I will detail in the video description. The mods list link, the complete mods list link with the download links and everything is also in the video description. Right? Okay. Continuing with the Q&A. So, from Jay, yeah, he has a lot of questions, thankfully. So we have a lot of ground to cover. Thanks a lot, Jay, for coming up with all these. And yes, we do it on a first come, first serve basis. First in, first out. So the earlier you ask your question, the earlier it gets featured. One sec, let's slow down. I think there's an intersection coming up. A roundabout, to be more exact. One sec, guys. Just focusing on this junction so that I don't miss my turn. Alright. So he asks, where's the coolest place you've ever been or traveled to? I have not traveled as much as the person who really likes to travel, you know, those backpacker types who have a goal of like visiting every country. I don't really have that. I am not a traveler. But Mrs. Clumsy more of is. But we have a certain level of, how do you say, needs. We don't want it to be very backpackish. Very busy junction here. Goodness. So we have very limited, how do you say, we try to pick where we want to go. And we want something that is scenic, some amazing sights, great food, and great infrastructure and nice people. And for us, I think I mentioned this before, but the best place I've ever been to, traveled to, is in Switzerland. And I know a lot of the people will maybe question that. Oh, I see some approach lights here. Is there an airport? Probably that's an airport. Looks like some approach lights. Interesting. Maybe we'll see some planes on their final approach. Alright, but yes, definitely Switzerland is our top destination because it's a perfect balance of all those factors that I mentioned. Amazing sights. We went during autumn. So beautiful views. Very cold. Just the right amount of coldness during autumn that you have to put on a layer or two, but it's not terribly cold where you can't move around anymore, so it's perfectly balanced. People are very nice. The infrastructure is very developed. Like you have internet anywhere you go, even if you're on top of a mountain. There are train systems everywhere. You can go anywhere by public transport. Everything just works. Much like Singapore in terms of infrastructure. And yeah, the weather is good. The food is amazing. Fondue, rosti, all that stuff. So yeah, definitely Switzerland is number one in our list. And we hope to be able to come back in the near future when the traveling is feasible again after this entire pandemic situation. So we'll see. But next to Switzerland will probably be Japan, because it has all those factors as well. Maybe it's just not as scenic, at least not as scenic as where we went to, because we only went to Tokyo and Osaka, the surrounding areas. They are scenic, but not as relaxing in terms of the sights. So in Switzerland, it was mainly hiking the mountains. And when I say hiking, it's mainly hiking like walking, not hiking as in climbing, if you get what I mean. Oh, not very good visuals here. I think we'll have to sleep. Yeah, we can sleep. That's fine. And I think we can have a chance to finish the entire episode here, depending on how good the road is. We'll see. Yikes. One second, let me just look for a rest area. There should be something here on the left, but it's super dark. I see a couple of trucks there though, so that might be it. Let's go and find one. But yeah, it would be Switzerland and then Japan for our top two destinations. Yeah, like I said though, we haven't been to many of the countries, so that might still change as we go and explore. We'll see. But yeah, Switzerland, when I was actually surprised the first time I mentioned Switzerland to my colleagues from Europe. They were not very impressed. I guess that's because Switzerland is very expensive, and if you're from Europe, oh crap, sorry Cone. And if you're from Europe, you probably know a lot more destinations that are cheaper and that are maybe just as scenic. That's what I'm thinking. That's why they were not very impressed when we mentioned to them that we are going to Switzerland. But if you are someone from Asia, Switzerland is one of the top destinations in mind. Maybe also if you're from the US. And yeah, I don't have any regrets for it. It's very expensive there, that's true. So we cannot really stay that long because the funds will run out faster. But I think it's worth it with the infrastructure, because some places might be as scenic, but the infrastructure might not be as developed. Ooh, beautiful morning sky. Right. So yeah, that's a trade-off. And at this age in our lives, we're not very much keen on backpacking anymore. We require a certain level of luxury. So we want to sleep in a very cozy, comfy hotel. We don't like to sleep in a tent. No glamping for us. Doesn't have to be 5 stars. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just has to be comfy and well maintained. So certain level of comfort is needed. Can't be as, how do you say, cowboy about it. Is that the term? But yeah, Switzerland is the perfect balance for us. But the next destinations in mind, probably Italy. We have only explored Venice and Rome before. We would like to spend maybe at least 2 weeks just going around in Italy, going to different parts. We've not been to some of the major cities yet, and each city, each place has their own specialty. Different pasta, different pizza, maybe different wine as well. So that's definitely one place we'd like to explore more. and Holland. Netherlands we've heard very good things about, but when we were in Europe before, we only spent, I think, 2 days in Amsterdam only, so very limited. Definitely not enough to get to capture any of the cultural highlights. So we look forward to going back and exploring more of Netherlands, not only Amsterdam, not only the capital. From our time there, though, it was very nice. So hope to go back sometime. We'll see. Anyway, so that's it for the travel item. We'll go to the next question after I make this turn. And I think, yeah, now we are officially in Finland. A while ago when we entered the port. Look at the beautiful water there. I think that is from Project Next Gen. By the time this video is released, Project Next Gen 0.7 might have been released already. Project Next Gen Photorealistic Experience. But I'm not sure if that release is for the early access people or for the public already. Early access people are those who paid €9.99. But we'll see. Okay. Next question. If you could have a full 24 hours without any work or obligations, a day to do just whatever you wanted, what would you do? Ooh, yeah, that's tricky. Lots of things I want to do. And we all need this kind of downtime from time to time. But definitely, this will sound cheesy, but definitely at the top of my list would be Mrs. Clumsy. Yeah, spending time, quality time, not having to worry about working. So traveling with her, just spending time, maybe sitting on a bench, enjoying some food, having discussions, reminiscing about the past, looking forward to the future, things like that. That's one answer. Might not be as exciting for you guys as it is for me, but one thing that you could maybe like better is streaming, recording, or focusing on YouTube, on my content creation. Because that's something that I have not been able to give my 100% because I have a full-time work. So YouTube, Twitch is more like a pastime, more of something I can do when I get some extra time. But if things get tight, then it's the first thing that goes away, unfortunately. That's why I want to grow the channel. That's why I want to grow the business, so to speak. Grow the brand, grow the community, so we can make this sustainable for me. Because if we can do that, then I can be a full-time content creator. I can leave my work, focus on this, and then I can do this the entire day. That's the dream. And before, I remember having different answers to this kind of question. Like, I've had questions before asking me if I wanted to do full-time work or do full-time YouTube. And before, the answer has been mix, 50-50 is great. But now I'm leaning more towards the YouTube career, where I have more control about things and have more freedom in terms of creative freedom, freedom in time, freedom in how I build the business, something that is really my own, things like that. And it's just a great feeling. So that's the goal. And really thankful for my patrons, my subscribers, for everyone who donates, for everyone who tries to support the channel, for everyone who watches and likes and subscribes, comments, and just watches. For all of you guys, it's great help. All big steps toward that goal. So hopefully we get there in the future. But each of your contributions help a lot with that. And so if I can make this job sustainable, if I earn enough from this, then I can quit my work and I can focus on doing more stuff with you guys, streaming more, doing more episodes, increasing the quality, being able to provide more for you guys, all of that, because I can see so much potential that I can do if I don't have to worry about my full-time work. Like, normally I would be able to record early in the morning like I'm doing right now, and then in the afternoon I would have to work already. Sometimes it takes the whole day for the work, so no recording then. And if I had the freedom, the chance to explore, have all the time in the world to focus on this one, I'm sure I could do even better videos. So we'll see, but we'll do our best to go that direction. We'll see how far we can go. So thanks for all the support, and looking forward to the future with you guys. Alright, next one. And yes, maybe just to share a bit more on that topic. I've had that from time to time when I took a leave and I went on vacation from my full-time work. And I've had those days when I could just focus on the content creation, and I've been able to develop so many ideas thanks to them. Get some downtime, get some thinking time, sometimes sitting still and just pausing and just letting your mind rest, letting your mind breathe is very helpful, because it allows your brain to recharge and come up with better ideas. So like one step back, two steps forward kind of thing. So yeah, looking forward to that kind of future with you guys. We'll see. Next up, have you ever done or accomplished something you never thought you could? What was it? Never thought you could. Well, whoa. Surviving that bend, maybe? No, mainly it's still this one. I never thought of being able to sustain a YouTube career, you could say, for this long. I've been doing this for how many years now? 5 years, I think. Yeah, probably 5 years as I'm recording this, almost, or just past it. So congrats to us for 5 years. Maybe we should do some kind of celebration for it. We'll see. I'll look at the official date when I started my YouTube channel. Should be around this point for sure, 2015. So we've been doing this for 5 years, and it has not been easy, especially in the beginning. Had a couple of bumps along the road, but it's been a great journey. Learned so much. It's very challenging, but very rewarding as well. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for your interaction, for your comments, for all the things you've taught me, and for all the support you've given. It has made things sustainable. Like what I said in the previous Q&A, self-discipline is not something that can sustain you long term. And it's the same with YouTube. I had this motivation, I had this drive, I had this interest in making videos, but it was not rewarding in the beginning because no one was watching. But so that's when the motivation and self-discipline had to really shine. I had to force myself to make videos and find things I enjoyed. But as time went by, people started coming in. You guys started coming in. You started interacting with me, started teaching me, started sharing your thoughts, and started sharing the enjoyment that you've gotten in the videos. And that's been a real great help. That has been my main driving force throughout these years. So thank you. Because I enjoy trucking, I enjoy playing, but I wouldn't have enjoyed this as much. Probably would have stopped a long time ago if I didn't get your inputs. Like, oh, there's a new mod. Oh, this is how you do it in real life. Oh, this is how it is in truth. Oh, this is what you want. Oh, this is something new. So all of those inputs are amazing. And the inputs that you share, the comments that you share, that it helped you through a rough time, you really enjoy the video, all those little things, all those big things, they all add up and they keep me moving forward. So thanks, really, to each and every one of you, whether you support me financially or through moral support or through intellectual support, things like that. So thanks, guys. Really means a lot, and really looking forward to the next 5 years and more, hopefully. So yeah, I never thought I could accomplish this. I never thought I would get to this point. But yeah, that's all thanks to you. If you guys weren't here, I would have stopped a long time ago because I could easily play on my own. But the interest, the drive, the enjoyment of sharing this with you and getting something back, whether that's a new learning, new feedback, new support that I can give you guys, so it's all worth it. And I hope I can do this more, as I mentioned in the previous question. The goal now is to do this full time, so let's try and build this up. We'll see how far we can get. Next question. What do you imagine your future family will be like? Well, I already have a family. That's Mrs. Clumsy. So I don't have to do much imagining. But maybe looking forward with Mrs. Clumsy, we'll see. For now, we are happy with the way things are. We're not sure if we want kids. We're okay to have kids, but it's not a requirement for us. We are very happy on our own. And maybe we'll get a dog in the future. Maybe we'll have kids in the future, who knows. But this is my family right here. So I don't have to do much imagining. I'm pretty content with the way things are. And if God decides to give us more, then we willingly accept in the future. But yeah, very thankful for what I have. Let's see. Next question. You wake up suddenly in the middle of the night. What would be the scariest sound to hear after waking up? Oh my goodness. It's like a horror movie. Please no. I don't know. Someone screaming maybe. Or screeching noises or whatnot. Yeah. I don't want to imagine it so much because I might dream of it. Let's move on to the next question. And if you guys didn't know didn't know this about me, I am very much a scaredy cat. So I don't watch horror movies. Even though I can survive the horror movie at that moment, like I won't probably leave the theater, I can survive it. I think the worst part for me is after the movie, when my mind starts working, when my imagination takes precedence, when my imagination starts going wild. So I start becoming paranoid, starting to imagine what happened in the movie can happen in real life. And yeah, that's when I really hate it. Like the movie itself, it's okay. It's the after effects that I really hate. So that's why I don't watch horror movies anymore. And that question is more of a horror movie, so we answer it quickly and then we move on. Not give my subconscious any ideas. Alright. What's something you were really stressed about? It turned out to be no big deal. Let's see. Memory items. Very bad with memory, as you guys might know. Goldfish memory. So we'll try to think of something. There have been a lot. I do tend to overthink sometimes. But I am slowly learning to stop that bad habit, because it doesn't really help anybody. Everyone teaches that in books, in religion. Like if you are a Christian, this is what it says in the Bible, something along these lines, that oh my goodness, that guy. So yeah, the Bible says, did we have right of way there? I thought we had right of way. So it must be just AI, wonky AI. So the Bible says God is in control. And so if you worry, it's actually a sin, because that is like not trusting him. So that's one perspective of it, to not worry, to not overanalyze things and accept things the way that they are as they come. And the non-religious part of it is, overthinking will only tire out your brain, and focus on the things you can control, and that will lead to a healthier mental state rather than obsessing over things that you have no power over, things like that. So whether you go through the route of faith or the non-faith related or relevant route, the message is the same. Stop overthinking and accept things as they are. And I've done my fair share of worrying and overthinking, whether that's for something with legal matters, with my mom and dad passing away these recent years. We've had to handle a lot of their estate. They didn't really leave a will or anything like that, so we've had to work with a lawyer. We've had to handle a lot of paperwork, had to search for missing papers and all that stuff. And there's been a lot of worry about how things will progress from here, from there. Lots of worry about what if this happens, what if we don't find it, what if yada yada, all the worries you can think of. And at the end of the day, you can only do so much. And there's no sense worrying about these things. So at the end of the day, I try to really consciously bring my thoughts away from that over-analyzing. So it can go to that level. So I've been guilty of that a couple of times. I worry too much about things that may or may not happen. What if paperwork doesn't get done on time? What if we lose this paper? What if yada yada? It's not helpful. So stay away from it. Or down to the littlest things, smallest things. Like when I'm at work, I'm in calls, I'm in meetings, and I say something, maybe not the best thing, and then later on I would obsess about saying that thing. Like, I should have led with this, I should have said this, I should have mentioned this. And then start to overthink about these things, start to imagine how it should have went. But then it doesn't really help anymore because that's done, it's in the past. So worrying about it doesn't really help. Maybe thinking about it, analyzing it a bit helps, because it helps you improve what you should do next time. But imagining how things should have gone doesn't really help me anymore. So I try to stay away from that and analyze it once and then move on. If I made a fool of myself, then I made a fool of myself. What should I have done better? And then try to do it better next time. Be a little bit better every day. That's all we can do. Next, what's the most unusual but fun experience you've had? Cannot think of anything specific aside from maybe traveling. But on a more general note, this is where Mrs. Clumsy really shines, because I have my routine, right? I have the things that I know I like, and I mostly stick with them. I'm not very much an exploratory guy. I tend to be a creature of habit, and I don't tend to stay away or move away from the habits that I've developed. So usually when I don't like something or when I have not explored something, I don't really go out of my way to explore them. But Mrs. Clumsy likes that, and we have different interests. So it's cool because she exposes me to different kinds of things. And sometimes I don't really like them, sometimes I'm not really interested, but just try it. And when I try it, turns out it's cool. Turns out it's fun. Or sometimes turns out I really hate it. But I wouldn't have known if I didn't try. So that's one thing you can do as well. I remember I have a colleague at work. I've been working with her for, oh goodness, more than 10 years maybe. So we've exchanged a couple of different philosophies. But yeah, one thing she says is she doesn't have the right to like stay away from something if she hasn't tried it herself, and if she hasn't like tried it at least once. So when she went to the Philippines, when I was still in the Philippines, and she was made to try all the exotic food, you know, you might have heard of balot, delicacies that we only feed our foreigners, we don't eat ourselves most of the time. But yeah, she tried all of those exotic stuff, and from there she said she developed her own preferences. Like, I like this one, I hate this one, I don't like this one at all. But then she tried them, so she would have her own opinion. And when she developed her own opinion, then that's when she can really say, I like it or not, I don't want to do it or I want to do it. So it's a good philosophy to live by. And for sure there will be some exceptions, but yeah, it's a good philosophy because you try it yourself and you form your own opinions, and don't just base it on what people tell you or things like that. We're almost there. Wow. Yes, we can finish this. Maybe we could do one more question. So down here. Let's see. What would be the worst thing to have a phobia of? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I guess phobia can come in all manner of things, huh? Depending on what you've been through in your life, your brain can come up with certain things. What would be the worst? I don't know. Fear of eating? Fear of people? But imagine maybe something that is essential for you, but you are afraid of. So how would you balance those two? You'll probably make a way to make that non-essential. Reading that book, Atomic Habits, really was insightful because some of the things are very common sense, but we don't really realize it. And that book has some interesting concepts about how to develop a habit. Like, we form habits when things are easy. We take the path of least resistance. So the easiest thing to do, that's what we normally gravitate towards. The thing that's very rewarding, immediately rewarding to be more specific. Like, when you get immediate reward from something you do, you tend to do that thing a bit more. And I'm just thinking about this. If you, for example, have fear of food, oh my goodness, that's a terrible thing to have, because I love eating. And you need to eat. So maybe eating is always a chore. Maybe eating is always a punishment if you have that kind of phobia. Is there such a thing? Maybe. I don't doubt it. Every kind of phobia exists, I guess. Yeah, that's going to be hard. You'll have to develop a system for it. So you'll either be not eating, which you won't survive anymore, or you'll develop a hate for it. It's a chore. You only have to do it because you have to. And you will be very punished for it because you'll feel very bad because you're scared of it. So I don't know how to get through that. You'll have to definitely work that with psychiatrist, so they can treat and develop maybe systems for it. Maybe you can group it together with something that you like. You know, that example I had about exercise. Like, you only watch your TV show when you're exercising. So when you get to those cliffhangers, you cannot stop working out. It's a win-win. But I can imagine it's not going to be that easy for phobia, because you can't just say, oh, just do this. I mean, we cannot really put ourselves in shoes of someone who has the phobia, a mental problem. Mental issues are real, and we should not take them lightly. That doesn't mean we should stop working on them, but yeah, you cannot just say, oh, just be happy, or just do this, or just don't be scared. It's not that simple. But I'm sure there's a way forward. Alright, let's spark this up. That should work. A bit out of the line there. Maybe we can still catch it. Yes, not the best parking. But we will be moving out anyway. Trailer itself is relatively straight if you don't look hard enough. We'll go with that. We made it. Excellent. 1,000 kilometers. Starting from the previous episode, from Trondheim to Kouvola. Good. That's a done deal. Awesome stuff right there. Love traveling in Scandinavia. Alright. So we will leave it there. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy these kinds of episodes. We'll do this from time to time, depending on how many questions there are. If you have a question, leave that in the Google Forms. Google Form link is in the video description. Name optional. If you want to be anonymous, that's fine. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Catch you in the next episode. Clumsy trucking, everybody.